What's going on today, ladies and gentlemen? So, I know I said I was going to do the Yoshi's Island Let's Play in the channel discussion, but as YouTube's being a dick, and I honestly have very little motivation to be playing that game, we're actually going to discuss something a little bit different today, and in this case, we are going to be discussing level design. Now, as you can see, we have Loderunner Online, the Mad Monk's Revenge. In this case, it is a fan restoration, I want to say, called Mad Monk's Revenge Definitive Edition. I will put a link to it in the description below. But the main reason why I chose this is because it has a built-in level editor, and I'm no good with, or I shouldn't say I'm not no good, but I'm not much good at more popular level editors such as GZ Doom and whatnot. So, we're going to go ahead and get started. So, the first thing you need to understand when doing level design is, especially in earlier games, you want to get the player used to the mechanics. Now, for a lot of people who make maps for Loderunner or not maps, puzzles for Loderunner, they're generally going to do puzzles with experienced players in mind. In this case, we are actually going to take a note from oh jeez, forgot what I was going to say now. Anyways, we're going to take a note, don't care about that, we're going to actually take a note from Sierra Online, not Sierra when they were making this, and we're just going to start off the player nice and slow, introduce new mechanics as we go. So in this case, we're just simply going to set a basic ground. We're going to model this up to the very first level in Loderunner. There we go. And as you can see, we're going to set our terrain layout. Now, every game has a set goal. In this case, in Loderunner, you gather your gold pieces, and you hit a gate. Start our dude off here. Now obviously he's not going to be able to do anything. See? Now I don't know what that red outline means. It probably means your level, you can't go to the next level. Obviously he can't do anything. How's he going to get to the gold pieces? So first things first, you make the means so that way the player can accomplish their objective. In this case, we'll put a ladder here. And this ladder right here is a little interesting because it also introduces a mechanic of, look, or introduces the ladders that suddenly appear upon level completion, which is nifty. Anyways, so we're not quite, I think that was just a little too easy. Obviously, being able to just straight up climb a ladder and get to your objective, like right away, while might be fun for some people, your players may, or I should say other players may not find it as much of a challenge, so we're going to go ahead and expand on that just a little bit. In this case, we're going to add a couple gold pieces. Now, I don't think that the live system in Loderunner allows you to gain lives after so much score. So, okay, so one of the other things you'll notice is that right here, we're going to put some gold pieces. Player's not going to be able to get to those. So the way we're going to handle that is we're going to make it so they can make their way over there. We're going to go ahead and get rid of that. So you want to keep it fun, but you want to keep it balanced. So in this case, the players are, oops, I don't know why it did that. Yeah, that our Bandicam is just acting up again. And what this is going to do, now mind you, this is not an exact replica, but it'll give you a general idea. In this case, we're just going to put the regular gold bars. But what is, oops. But what this will do is Introduces the player to basic mechanics such as movement. As you can see, we kept the level nice and simple. No enemies. Not really my best designed Loderunner level, but there we go. And there. That's simple. It introduces the player to the basic mechanics of movement. Obviously, you can't jump, but you can climb ladders. And also introduces the fact you can drop down to other levels. Or not other levels, other blocks. So yeah, this is a nice little starter level. It's not particularly fancy. Now, if there are other movement mechanics, and there are in this game, there's other mechanics such as digging, and you have what the hell are they? Zip lines and the like. We're going to go ahead and introduce that mechanic next. You want to generally gradually ease your players into it. In this case, it gives you a grand total of, I wouldn't say it's necessarily easing you in, but it gives you a grand total of 3 levels to work with for the basic mechanics in the game. So, again, we're going to I'm going to try and model this after the what the hell is it? I'm going to try and model this after the second level. So in this case, this is going to introduce bedrock, which you can't shoot through. You can shoot through soft terrain, but not that. It's also going to introduce the multi-tier digging. Okay. So, players are going to have to essentially dig their way down in order to get at that section I just put in. Oops. Put that there. Always have your gate done first. Okay. So, again, like I said, this is just introducing the players to the basic concepts. Now, if you're feeling particularly dickish, as I do from time to time, you could make your levels a lot harder. But we're being nice today. Okay. Oh, Discord's going off again. I thought I shut that down. That's okay. So, what this is doing is it's introducing the player to the basic concepts of you're going to have to dig for gold at times. And certain types of ground cannot be shot, obviously. So in this case, we're going to go ahead and give the player a little bit of gold. And hopefully this will help them later on. I feel like I'm going over redundant points. Anyways, so as you notice, this level is not particularly elaborate or fancy. It's designed to, again, teach the player the basics. And while I decided to use the TF2 soundtrack because while Loderunner does have a good soundtrack, I'd rather have my own music when talking. Yeah. Irrelevant point, but it's why you hear TF2 instead of the soundtrack. Oh, there goes Mandicam. Okay. Down we go. Okay. So, yeah. This gets your player used to the second or to the more advanced movement, if you want to call it that. Now, if I was feeling particularly evil, I could do a lot more, but I won't. Now, there are things like liquid terrain, phase bricks, trapdoor turf, and slime turf, but those will be reserved for later on. Okay, so we'll go ahead and add a new puzzle, and this will be where we introduce the enemy. Now, depending on what kind of enemies you have, in this case, Mad Monk's Revenge has only... Loderunner and Mad Monk's Revenge only has one enemy, the Mad Monk. So this will get you used to dealing with a basic enemy, and hopefully give your player some effective strategies on how to deal with them. Again, you don't want this to be a massive fuck you towards your player, because they're probably not, if you make it too hard, they're probably not going to want to play. Okay, ladder. You also want to give your player a means to get around the level. So in this case, Loderunner's AI, if you can call it that, is kind of rudimentary. If I'm trying to remember what it is based off of. Oh yeah, so Mad Monks will pursue the Loderunner until he basically dies. Or you can fool him, which we will cover here in a bit. We're only putting a handful of gold bars. Gonna get our gate going. They're relatively slow, but they tend to come in numbers, which you will introduce your player to the pain of later on. But for right now, we're just going to stick to the one guy. Okay, we're going to remove him. So the way Loderunner AI works is, it's not so much an AI as, I want to say, their behavior is based on an algorithm. In this case, at least, yeah, an algorithm is what I go with. In this case, it takes the XY coordinates of where your player's at in the grid, and they will essentially pursue the Loderunner, taking the most optimum route towards him. It sometimes leads, especially when there's more monks on the screen, to an almost psychic prediction at times. It's easy enough to fool. So one of the other things is that it will also introduce, what the hell is it? Ways to deal with the enemy as well. In this case, in this case, you shoot the ground beneath them to dig it, and you don't let them touch you. So after a period of time, the ground will close, essentially eating the monk, but he will respawn, which is something some players may actually learn the hard way. Actually, you're going to learn at some point, so yeah. That's what happens when you get eaten. Now, see, I made a mistake. That could have been easily avoided, but that was just demonstration. Anyway. Oops. Now, you don't necessarily have to stand on top of them, particularly when you have more than one pursuing you. Yeah, this level is just simply meant to get the player used to enemies. And there you go. Gradual escalation. That's what you're going for. Yep. And there we go. So yeah, that's basic level design. At least for Loderunner anyways. Anyway, I've been MD1044. Yeah, we're going to save this puzzle. Actually, we're going to put it in my level drills folder. YT video level. If you guys want to see more of this, go ahead and hit me up in the comments below. Until then, I have been Material Defender 1044. Still getting used to the name change. And I will see you all next time.